The coalition is turning up the heat on Colonel Gaddafi. US armed Predator drones have joined the mission to seek and destroy the embattled leader's arsenal. The Allied forces have been engaged in the country's civil conflict more than a month now. But with little to show for it, the deadlocked war is causing widespread concern about its cost. Laura Emmett reports.
For Libyans, it's been a long, hard month. Airstrike after airstrike by NATO forces in the middle of an increasingly violent civil war. But in the midst of all that bloodshed, what's been achieved? According to many, not a lot.
I think the situation has deepened and probably got rather worse. The African Union attempted a ceasefire was scuppered, I believe, by Western interests, and now Britain is putting troops in on the ground as advisors. I think it's very dangerous. We're involved in a civil war for which there is no parliamentary authority.
And at what cost? Priceless human lives, certainly. But the Ministry of Defence refuses to release information on how much the intervention in Libya is costing the British taxpayer. Early estimates suggested the bill could run to $5 million a day. That means a month's offensive may have cost the UK as much as $150 million and counting. And this at a time when the UK is slashing spending on public services, leading to widespread, often violent demonstrations.
This is an incredible amount of money when they say there is no money available, that we could, every week, we could be building a new hospital, several new schools, and we could be paying the student tuition fees, which are going up to $9,000 a year next year.
Defence cuts have already begun, and the Ministry of Defence is expected to save nearly $8 billion over the next 4 years. Ironically, experts say that's made the Libyan war more expensive. Now that the UK no longer has an aircraft carrier, every mission is longer and logistically harder.
If we still had HMS Ark Royal and the Harriers in service, we could be doing a better job over Libya than the RAF Typhoons and Tornadoes. And over 6 months, that would cost us approximately £100 million, which is 1/10 of what we're doing now.
And for all that investment, defence strategists are calling the situation a stalemate. Gaddafi is still in Libya, reportedly using illegal and indiscriminate cluster munitions on rebel forces. Peace seems no nearer, and NATO appears to be settling in for the long haul until the Libyans themselves can negotiate a deal. After a month of airstrikes, UK forces look more inextricably involved in the conflict than ever. Just in the last week, the Ministry of Defence committed to sending military advisors to Libya to organise the rebels. This is seen by many as the most significant step so far towards deploying ground troops. And once that happens, many see Libya turning into another Afghanistan, 10 years and counting. Laura Emmett, RT, London.